Hello! The holidays are upon us and I wanted to make some cookies. So I was thinking about making this whole recipe of these like chocolate, like just plain chocolate, like chewy cookies. I've been making them and eating them for decades, and I just think they're really cool and fun, and they're really pretty simple. First of all, oven's at 350, it just went ting-a-ling-ling, so I know it's up to temperature. So basically, with a lot of baking, you kind of got the wet stuff and the dry stuff. We used to sift everything, and we don't really do that a whole lot. So I'm going to do the dry because normally I would mess with the dry stuff while this is creaming, but you can't hear me, so I'm going to have to do a little out of order. So in my bowl here, I have my 2 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. And like always, at the end of the video, I always have the recipe card. People ask me, well, how can I write down that fast? I'm like, hit pause. That'll work. Okay, so you got this big old mess, and cocoa powder isn't real powdery, it's kind of clumpy. That's one of the problems. And you want to incorporate everything together really well. Well, I can take out my whisk and I can mix it around. But I'm hoping today, I'm going to do something that I've done before, is I basically take a chopstick and I just want to get this stuff kind of mixed up together. Just want to kind of make sure we get things, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because I don't know about you, but there are times it's just a real pain in the neck to clean your whisk. Alright, so I just want to see some nice pretty colors come through, those dry ingredients. Like I said, we're not trying to be perfect. It's going to go through this massive blender that's going to mutilate it all anyway, so it should be okay. Some nice bigger chunks, they're big chunks of cocoa powder, but they're real powdery, so it's not like it's clumps like wet stuff that I have to worry about. Here in Florida, humidity affects everything, so you do have to kind of keep an eye out for that. Alright, I think that is beautiful. Took me a few seconds longer, but hey, I don't know about you, but I order out Chinese food about once a month, and I just always grab a set of chopsticks once in a while because sometimes you find really handy uses for them. Besides eating them, which I do that sometimes, not all the time. I'm learning, okay? Just learning. Alright. So, this looks really good. I could sit here all day to try to make it perfect. Like I said, I'm not too worried. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's clean. Alright, let's put this up here, out of the way. I think you have more problems from like static with all the flour and stuff. So, when you're creaming, what are you usually creaming? Okay, so that's butter and sugar. That's like the first ingredients you mix together. So you want your butter like room temperature. You want it soft. You don't want it microwave and melted. Only for like my carrot cake recipe do I do that. That's different. So I want this room temperature soft, so it's been sitting out. I have 1 1/4 cups. That's 2 1/2 sticks of butter. Butter. Yep. So let's see if it's soft enough before I start adding my dry. Because that was so much butter, I just wanted to get a little mix before I put my sugar in. I've got 2 cups of sugar. Don't want my bowls. Yeah. We're going to start out real easy and work our way up. I have to turn it down or turn it off so I can talk. So the first thing you'll find, I don't know if you ever made like a crumb topping, you get that like ball stage where the sugar and the butter are starting to incorporate. So at this point, I do want to put in my vanilla because I want to get that vanilla incorporated really, really well. So I need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Please use real vanilla. I don't care what brand, but imitation, to me, it just is not the same. Sorry. And I'm just gonna go 1, 2, and just a speck. One sticks to the spoon, so I go a little heavy. I love the smell of vanilla. Forgot to get my handy dandy towel. All right. So everything is like really well creamed. It's a perfect combination. It's, you know, it's not cream like it's not like soupy. You know, it's just, you see on the beater. It's just nice and all incorporated well. All right, smell that vanilla. I can't believe that my mom used a hand mixer to do this stuff. Just blows my mind. All right. So what do we got to do now? Now I got to get the dry stuff in here. So I'm going to start. Don't have to be too gentle, but I want to make sure everything gets mixed in without making a big mess. I shoot for about a third the first time. You can probably take the most the first time. So we're starting to get a good mix, so I can put more in. I just want to get the powdered stuff kind of incorporated. It doesn't have to be really mixed, just enough so that it's not going to make a big plume of powder stuff, which I always get in the face. This time I'm just going to let it run for a minute. Make everything happy. At this point, looks like I can put the rest of this in, which isn't a whole lot. I'm going to drop this so I can get this. Thing of beauty. So get the bowl out. Make some room here. So now I can show you what this looks like. So we have this really nice kind of almost dry. It's not like a cake batter. You know, cookies shouldn't be like cake batter. This is actually really about as good as I could have expected. The trick is really getting everything well mixed. You know, the better you mix it, better your end product's going to be. And I hate wasting anything. I'm really kind of anal about that, unfortunately. But a little OCD there. Keep that beater clean. Don't want to get my kids fat trying to pick the beater. All right. Okay, so you can see here, beautiful. This is a workout. This has got some good stuff to it, just like it's supposed to. In that respect, cookies are kind of easier to make than cakes because you're just incorporating really well. Big huge ball of beautiful chocolate. Everything's about smell with me. Smell and taste. Alright, so what I need to do now, let's show you how we're going to put this on a cookie sheet. Going old school. So like I said, we got a 350-degree oven. Some things I cook where I use the silicone sheets, but I actually want these to kind of hold their shape better. So I want them to kind of cook to the parchment. This is an example where parchment paper really excels. It's kind of hard to work with. I have really heavy, like commercial jelly roll pans, I call them, or cookie sheets, whatever, that I could use for this, and the parchment paper fits inside much better. But these are really cool insulated. They're actually like 2 layers with an air pocket in the middle. So I don't want to crisp these up. I don't want these to be like crunchy chocolate chip cookies. I want these to be like chewy, gooey, something you never even find at a good bakery. All right, so I got a couple tricks here. One is, I got this big huge stuff. I want to drop spoonfuls on here of this. A couple options. Yeah, you can take the old family spoon, that's okay. But I have an ice cream scoop here, so I'm going to get some nice round shape to it. And I don't want to make these too big, because they really need to be about spoon size. Check that out, isn't that cool? It all started because years ago, and I'm just pretending like I'm scooping ice cream. Just kind of gathering up a scoop. The shapes don't have to be perfect. For this first batch, because first batch is always the experiment, and the heat, temperature of the oven, the consistency. So, oops, that was a failure. Can't talk into this thing. Yeah, the first is kind of the experiment of how these are going to really turn out. And it's funny because I came up with this idea because this is called a tasting spoon. This is a tasting spoon that chefs use. And I've had this for a million years because, when you really work in a kitchen, you don't stick your fingers in the food, you don't lick the, yeah. So, if you're smart, you have a real tasting spoon. But then I realized I found this ice cream scoop that was like just perfect. Just remember, they're all going to kind of cook down anyways. So these cookies, like I said, this is the first batch, so I'm going to kind of go easy. So I'm only going to put like 6 on here. Once I know that they're good to go, that one's going to be a little munchkin, but that's okay. Just a nice. And it's amazing because ovens are magic. They make these things round and perfect. I don't know how I do it, but it works for me. Just because of time constraints, I'm actually going to put a bit more in here. Maybe not. Maybe right to the edge here. Just around. Parchment paper. I stopped using it because there's so many other products and stick-free and everything, and parchment really has its purpose, so I've really gone back to it. I use it for a lot more things. I guess you just try things and see what works for you. Alright, so I'm going to get on this first one. So I got 8 cookies. These cookies should take 8 to 9 minutes. I'm thinking the size is just about right. My oven tends to stay well insulated. What ruins trying to cook things and the timing is because when you open the oven to put stuff in, the longer you have it open, the more the oven cools, and the less insulated it is, it loses temperature. So if you have a really nice oven, which I have an okay oven, the time's shorter. 8 to 9 minutes, I'm going to guess. I'm probably going to want to check these at 8. They should be nice and kind of melted out and puffed up, and when they cool, they're going to fall. I'm going to show you that. Let me get these in the oven, and I'll be back in 8 minutes. Man, I wish you could smell these. These are really great. So I pulled them out of the oven because they got to sit for a minute before I can get them off from here. What I was doing to check them is I want to make sure that they got a little bit of a kind of a crust to them. They're nice and soft and smushy, but I need them. And the parchment paper, just want to take it easy. Steady. There she goes. So these are kind of fun to make. They're not perfect, they just taste really good. There's some things I cook that obviously it's very visual. A lot of food is visual, but these are just kind of like fun clumps of chocolate gooey cookies that I absolutely think that you'll fall in love with. A little hot for me to bite into right now, so I'm not going to try it. But you know, certainly give this a try. So I could do 8. There's probably 2 more. So it's gonna make about 32 cookies. It's kind of a nice starter. Not like the old days of Christmas when I was a kid, where you filled up roasting pans with all those cutout cookies. You know, you made cutout cookies like all day long. This is just a more fun thing, and I think this is something you can get the kids involved, because there's really nothing hard about it. You know, don't let them touch the hot pan. And I hope I showed you parchment's really easy to use. Having a spatula that's kind of soft and has a nice pointed edge to it really helps get under there. Other than that, this is a really easy recipe. So like I said, try it, enjoy it, have fun. Let me know what your favorite holiday cookies are, and maybe I'll make those next, because I like spritzes too. Have a good day.